Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Ben Arous in Tunisia. You can see part of it there. If I zoom out real quick, hold on, you can see Tunisia and the rest of my desk. Tunisia. Tunisia is a small country compared to its neighbors in North Africa, bordering the Mediterranean Sea. And you might be wondering, ASMR Geographica, you said Ben Arous, but I'm looking over this map and I don't see it. Where is it? That is because Ben Arous is mostly a suburb of Tunis, the capital city. It's pretty much this chunk right about here. It is pretty much anyone that lives in Ben Arous lives like right here. You can see the Gulf of Tunis right here, making up this coastline, which is very pretty. It has some nice beaches that we'll look at on Google Earth. For the most part, it's fairly flat, lots of farmland. It's on what's called the Sidi Fatala Plain. There are a little bit of mountains creeping up along the side here, since we are in North Africa and the Atlas Mountains dominate the landscape here. A little bit of it goes up there just within the borders of Ben Arous, and that makes up the I'm not sure how to say it, Bourgogne National Park. You can see right there, Bourgogne National Park, the mountains there. And of course, after we go over the history, we'll head over to Google Earth and look at this beautiful corner of the world on my tablet. Because if you don't know, Tunisia is one of my bucket list countries. Pretty much this whole coastline of northern Africa, Algeria and Tunisia is on my bucket list. The Barbary Coast, if you will, because it's absolutely stunning. You're going to want to check it out. So let's talk about the history of this little corner of Tunisia. Quite a bit's happened here in history. Of course, Carthage is literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. I'm so upset that Carthage is so close, yet so far. Today is not the video where we talk about the history of Carthage, but of course, this area was definitely part of the Carthaginian, empire, kingdom, what have you, in control of the Carthaginians. Until the Romans, of course, very famously conquered them and destroyed their city and took over the area. In northern Africa, as we have seen in Algeria, just over here, actually you can see right here, there's Timgad. As we talked about before, the Romans liked to build basically retirement towns, like little Floridas, in the north coast of Africa for their soldiers. And they built one in this area here, and it's called Uthina, or in Arabic it's Udna. And it was built during the time of Emperor Augustus, so the very end of like the BCE times, like 40 BCE, 30 BCE, around then. And yeah, it was a military town, so Romans who did their time in the military and get to live quiet lives with their families would move to towns like that and just live nice, peaceful lives, savoring all of the benefits of being a citizen of Rome and just living quietly, I suppose. I think it was eventually destroyed by the Vandals. I believe they were Germanic, but they were like what the Romans would call barbarian peoples who invaded North Africa, took it over, and created their own kingdom. And eventually the Byzantines came and took it back. Since the Byzantines was, at this point in history, we're in the year 533 now. Pretty much all that was left of the Roman Empire at that point. At least what was viable. There was a large battle here in the coast area here called the Battle of Ad Decima, led by Belisarius, a very famous Byzantine general, attacking the Vandals to retake this land, and it was essentially the beginning of the end for the Vandals in North Africa, as the Byzantine Empire would come and retake all of their land. Now, I don't really have anything between then and World War II happening here. The only little bit I could find in history was about a Sufi saint called either Saint Ahmed Ben Arous or Sidi Ben Arous. And the dates where he lived are also, I've seen sources say very different things, but they pretty much all agree that he lived between the late 1300s into the 1400s. And he lived here, I guess it's like a monk. And obviously, the land is named after him. That's pretty much all I got until World War II. So what happened here in World War II? I found on Google Earth, maybe if I remember I'll show it to you, there's like a little bunker on the coastline there. It says World War II bunker. I don't know what that's about. But it was primarily used by the United States as an Air Force airfield to fly out. Pretty good spot to fly out to, Axis-controlled areas of Europe and Africa. And, okay. So the next two things we're going to talk about are a bit iffy. One is controversial, one is just very sensitive. So let's take a moment to realize that you don't need to ho-hum in the comments. I understand. I most likely agree with you, but I am going to present this factually and calmly and within YouTube's guidelines. So, shh. It's okay. We don't need to rant and rave in the comments. I've heard everything. You don't need to repeat it, okay? Let's talk about Hammam Chot. You can see Hammam leaf here. Hammam Chot is almost like right next door to it, okay? Hammam Chot was a PLO base for quite a while. If you don't know, the PLO is the Palestinian Liberation Organization, which you can guess on the name, their views. And at the time, they were led by Yasser Arafat, as we say in America. I'm sure it's pronounced Arafat. Not at all how we say it in America, but that's not the point. The point is that Israel, in 1985, bombed it. Obviously, trying to target Yasser Arafat. And many people lost their lives. They did succeed in destroying the base, and the PLO, whoever survived in the PLO, shipped out. So a success for the Israelis. And I'm going to say it again as relaxingly as possible and within YouTube's guidelines, and it regards Mohammed Bouazizi. Mohammed Bouazizi lived more in central Tunisia, way down there in the center of the country, and he was a fruit vendor. But evidently he did not have a license to be a fruit vendor, and the local police harassed him constantly and would destroy his products. And he was getting so frustrated that he would not be able to support his family. And maybe he did have a fruit vendor's license, I don't know, but that's just what the police said. He became so frustrated that he went to the police station and he, as an act of protest, self-immolated. Which is essentially setting yourself on fire as an act of protest. He was rushed to his nearest burn unit, which was in Ben Arous here, where he passed away on January 4th, 2011. Which, wait, I'm filming this on January 4th. I felt a chill. Anyway. He's now considered a national hero of Tunisia because his act set off the Jasmine Revolution, which changed the political landscape of Tunisia forever. The Jasmine Revolution set off what's known in history as the Arab Spring, or many other Arab countries, and even a couple that aren't Arab, set off many protests. It sparked many protests across these countries, some of which changed them forever, for good or for worse. Let's put it that way. In some countries, nothing changed at all. But for many Arab countries, it changed their entire country forever. These protests in 2011, the Arab Spring. All because of this one soul who just wanted to support his family. No one was listening to him. So, yeah, I think he was named Time Person of the Year that year also. Which is, a sad story, but very respectful and honorable. But that is basically all of the history that I have for you in Ben Arous. Just like this right here. Very diverse, isn't it? We've got the Romans, we've got the Israelis, we have the Arab Spring. But with that being said, let's head over to the tablet and take a look at this area in Google Earth. There's not a lot to see, but there is some neat things to see. We're going to look at a Roman town. I mean, hello. It's so great. Let's check it out. Here we are in Ben Arous Governorate, which I probably should have said at the beginning, Ben Arous Governorate. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. So here is beautiful little Tunisia. You can see just how different it is from the north to the south, how it's so lush and green. And down here, you're in the Sahara Desert. Here is North Africa, the Mediterranean Sea, and you can see Europe just up there. So we are at this little peak right here in North Africa. That's where you can find beautiful Tunisia. So here we are in Ben Arous Governorate, and I think we should just start off in the Roman ruins. Let's start off having fun in Uthina. And as you can see, it's a very large site because it was an entire town. You can see it's still going, still going. It's pretty big, isn't it? But very beautiful. It's strange, I've heard of so many different Roman sites in this corner of the world. I've never heard of this one, and you think, oh, if it's a tiny one, it's probably all crumbled, and all that's left are a couple pillars, but there is a lot here. Look, there's a whole street here. Whole alleyways and staircases. I bet you all of you could see it looks like a sewage system there, maybe, even for the toilets and things. There are public bathrooms that they, I guess, loved in ancient Rome. Can't relate to that. But yeah, I bet you we can find their bath. There's an aqueduct over here. You can even see it still standing there from above. How they transport water back and forth. Here's the baths. So yeah, there are lots of really cool pictures over here. I highly encourage you to play around on Google Earth and check it out for yourself, because it's always fun to play around on Google Earth. You never know what you're going to find, including a whole, see, look, a toilet, a Roman toilet right there. Yeah, let's look at one more thing. Let's look at the amphitheater, or there's another, the Roman theater. Let's look at both, why not? Roman theater, seen better days, of course. Yeah, it's pretty crumbly up here, but if we look down here, the amphitheater still looks great, doesn't it? Wow. You could probably still, oh, look at the details in this column. Looks like it was just made, this column. Looks brand new. Oh, that's precarious. Yeah, you could probably still do live venues here. Maybe they do. The floor mosaics. I love those. I think that's my favorite part of old Roman things. Here's some examples of what it would have looked like. Amphitheater. I bet you they had chariot races and fun activities for Romans to enjoy. sit back and relax and enjoy their various shows. Yeah, it looks like it's set up for chariots. But yeah, there's so many different things to see around here. Highly encourage you to come and check it out. Let's head over to the mountains before we head over to the main event here. Here's Bokronin National Park, where it is just lovely. Just this little branch of the Atlas Mountains just sticking up into this area, making some nice, beautiful green peaks. That's a cool domed place. Maybe that's a planetarium. Maybe it's a mosque. I don't know. This baby saying, look, there's the Mediterranean. Beautiful little area here. There's one cool mountain peak I found. Let me put it on the 3D. Maybe that would make it easier to find. Let's see. Isn't that neat? Just like a little, here it is. A little scar of a mountain just running through this otherwise very flat area. There's a radio, or I guess television and radio station at the top. Pretty good place for it. But of course the slideshow for the actual mountain is not popping up. But I guess you can kind of see how cool it is here from the 3D. I don't know, maybe this was the slideshow I tapped. Oh, I think it was. Well, there we go. Beautiful views, isn't it? You can see the radio station up there. Okay, I don't think that was it, but that was pretty good. And again, check out this little mountain range yourself. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of beautiful slideshows in here to explore. You can go, I guess, trekking and hiking yourself on Google Earth. It's pretty great. We have the coast here. I found a couple of nice beaches. I wonder if I can remember which ones I'd picked out. Sorry for the loud car going by. Maybe this one, Plage Chabea. Oh yeah, look, there's a turtle coming out to say hello. And there's another little friend upside down, unfortunately. But yeah, not terrible beaches here. I think there's some better. Look at all the seashells there. Oh, that's right. I saw this. This looks like, I'm not sure what El Hakoum means, but this looks like a shipwreck. But I couldn't find anything about it. If anyone, I know I've got Tunisian viewers out there. If anyone knows, let me know. Oh, see, here it is. World War II bunker. But that has no pictures on it, so I don't know what that's about either. If anyone knows, let me know. This is Hammam Leaf, the little park area they have here. Looks really neat at night. Looks nice and cool. You have parties, there's street vendors there. Looks like a nice little park. But yeah, nice little beaches here. Okay, so here's something that happened. For tomorrow's video, we're going to Vietnam. And I was researching it on Google Earth, of course, to prepare to film it. And a lot of places, well, all the places were in Vietnamese, but they were marked as historical. So I'm tapping on them to see, oh, what is it? But it would be like a concert hall. I'm like, okay. I tap on another one, it's an event space, like a venue. I tap on another one. It's another event space, like a hall where you have like wedding receptions and stuff. So I kept tapping these places and they kept being like halls, like venue spaces. So now Google Earth really thinks I want to see venue spaces. So whenever I go in, all of these venue spaces keep popping up. So that's what's happening all over here. Of course it's showing me all these hotels, but oh my gosh, I'm just like plagued. Look, it's still showing me. You really want to see these concert halls? I don't want to see at all. So we're gonna have to deal with that, I suppose, until Google Earth realizes. I just have to be careful not to tap on any venues, concert halls, wedding reception halls. Let's see what this is. Jardin de See? Oh. I'm just trapped. This is just my life now. But anyway, this is essentially Ben Arous. Gonna have to zoom out to make sure. Yeah, it goes about to here. I can throw up the borders again. There we go. What is neat though is that within the borders here is this, I guess, like ferry area, which look, it goes to Marseille from Tunis. Where else can you go? Genovia. You can see Princess Mia. Palermo. Tripoli. Is that Tripoli or Trapani? It's Trapani. Tripoli's over there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? But yeah, all these slideshows in the town actually not that great. But I couldn't help myself and I popped over to Carthage. Okay, beautiful Carthage. And do you know what I noticed? One of those moments where everywhere is someone's every day. I was poking around when I saw this, which is a high school. Look at this, Carthage Hannibal Secondary School. And I thought about how, if you're in high school now watching this, you get it. But if you've already graduated, I want you to remember when you were in high school and how lame it was and how boring and dull your high school was and so uninteresting and such a drag to go to. That, I'm sure, is what these students that go here feel like, because it's their high school. No one really likes their high school, and if you do, I'm sorry. But so kids go here, right? They go here Monday through Friday. It's a drag. They hate their teachers. They hate their homework. And they are right next to freaking Carthage. They walk past this every day to go to school. Look, the Carthage Museum is right here. There's Roman ruins outside their high school. So, it's one of those moments to remember. Everywhere is someone's boring, dull every day. Even the ruins of Carthage. There are high school students actively going here that think this is the most boring place in the world. Look, there's Roman baths over here. So, always something to keep you humble about the world. Everywhere is someone's everyday, boring ho-hum. This place is so lame. I wish I could leave. I hate living here. But then you don't realize if you've lived there your whole life that you live in a very fascinating corner of the world. So, if you're watching this, be sure to take some time to look around your neighborhood and think about what you find so boring, so dull, so blah, that to an outsider would just be the most interesting thing they've ever seen in their lives. I want you to think about that today, okay? After you wake up from sleeping to ASMR. So that is all I have for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy this style of content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on my channel, and like I said, we're going to be heading over to Vietnam next. And let me give you just a little blurb as to why you should watch tomorrow's video. We're going to look at a place that is the home of a cult that is centered on coconuts. Yes, coconuts. You heard me right. They call themselves the coconut religion. And the place that they've constructed for tourists to come and look at is absolutely wild. So you're not going to want to miss it. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. Let's see what's in this slideshow. Look at the town. And I hope that you have a good